Welcome to The Explainer. You know, in most online games, the mission is pretty clear, right? You gotta win. You compete, you level up, you race to the top of that leaderboard. But what if someone jumped into that world with a totally different mission? Today, we're diving into a story from the game The Trail that completely redefines what it means to play and maybe even what it means to be remembered.
So let's start with this question, because it's at the heart of everything. What if the whole point wasn't to conquer some virtual world, but just to exist inside it? What if your avatar wasn't some hero built for victory, but a living, breathing memory? Well, we're about to meet a player who did exactly that.
Okay, so in the huge world of The Trail, this one player showed up who seemed to break every unwritten rule of gaming. His name was Evernoam, and to all the other players who were just racing past him, what he was doing made absolutely zero sense.
And this really lays it all out. Look at a typical player. Their goal is to win. Their strategy is to compete. Their speed is always a dead run. But for Evernoam, the goal was simply to be. The strategy was to observe, and his speed was just a slow, deliberate walk. He started his journey from the very bottom of the map, with literally nothing, not a single item to his name. His actions were just as strange as his philosophy. I mean, he walked over 10,000 kilometers and never once broke into a run to get ahead. He gathered more than 25,000 items, but he didn't care about how rare they were. He chose them for their personal meaning. He even became a town's mayor, not by campaigning or anything, but just by being this quiet, dependable presence. And when he finally hit expert explorer status, he didn't see it as conquering some mountain peak. For him, it was about building a safe place. A place to hold a memory.
So yeah, this wasn't just some random, aimless wandering. Behind every single slow step was a really deep, intentional philosophy. It was like a code of conduct being lived out in pixels and code, where every choice, no matter how small, was made for a reason.
This quote from the person behind the character, man, it just gets to the heart of it all. The goal wasn't achievement, it was presence. Each slow step was a kind of communication. Every trade was a way to get closer to someone. Every campfire was a chance to just breathe again.
Even his look was packed with meaning. The clothes he wore often dyed this specific color, blossom pink. And this wasn't just picking a color. It wasn't about gender. It was a symbol of what the creator calls gentle strength. It stood for this inner spring, a quiet blooming, and really, the courage to be vulnerable in a world that so often tells you to wear armor. This whole philosophy even extended to his house. In a game where leveling up your stuff is, well, everything, Evernoam's house was deliberately kept at level 15. Why? Because the higher levels, with all their flashy designs, they were a shout. And Evernoam was meant to be a whisper, a quiet, steady presence, not some loud billboard for success.
So who was this player? And what was behind this strange, quiet philosophy? This is where the story takes a huge turn. We're about to pivot from the virtual world to the raw human reality that created it.
It turns out Evernoam wasn't an invention at all. He wasn't some fantasy character. He was born from a real, powerful human connection. He was, in his creator's own words, a walking letter of thanks, a digital continuation of a profound act of love.
This timeline, it explains everything. Just 6 days before this character was ever created, the writer, who lives with both physical and mental disabilities, suffered a collapse during a public emergency. She couldn't get to a shelter and felt completely abandoned. Then, after she posted online in desperation, a man named Noam showed up, a real person. And he didn't offer solutions or try to fix her. He just saw her. He listened. He created a safe space for her. And once she was finally safe and home, she created Evernoam, not to escape what happened, but to honor the kindness she found right in the middle of it.
The writer described the real Noam's impact with this incredibly powerful metaphor. In a moment of total crisis, his presence was calming, cooling, healing. And that exact feeling is what she wanted to build into his virtual counterpart, into Evernoam.
So how do you actually do that? How do you translate real-world compassion into game mechanics? Well, the creator did it with incredible care, building a bridge between the real Noam's ethics and every single one of Evernoam's in-game actions. And here's exactly how that bridge was built.
The real Noam is a vegan with this deep sense of compassion, so Evernoam never hunts animals, not even for a quest. Noam's quiet nature is why the house stays a whisper, not a shout. His moral integrity is why Evernoam returned every single coin he ever used from the public treasury. And his gentle strength, that's symbolized by the blossom pink.
This commitment to his values goes so deep, it's even in his diet. In a game with endless food options, Evernoam only eats 3 things: bread, rice pudding, and apple juice. And why? Because those were the only items the creator could be absolutely sure were truly vegan within the game's logic.
But you know what happens when you make a mistake? The creator actually developed a protocol for that. If Evernoam accidentally picked up a non-vegan item, like meat or eggs, she couldn't just get rid of it. Instead, she created what she called a corner of apology. It's a single, white box where these items are placed. They are never sold, never used. They just sit there as a quiet testament to a mistake and a reminder to be more mindful next time. It's not about punishment. It's about awareness.
So in the end, the story of Evernoam is about so much more than just a character in a game. It's really this powerful exploration of memory, of gratitude, and what the purpose of our digital lives can even be. See, Evernoam isn't an escape from reality. He's a bridge to it. He's a living digital space where the creator can continue to feel the warmth and the kindness of the person who changed her life. It's a way to keep that profound connection alive, one slow, deliberate step at a time. And that's what the story of Evernoam leaves us with. This is the question to think about. In all these digital worlds we build and inhabit, are we just running from reality? Or are we actually finding powerful new ways to preserve it, to honor the people and the moments that matter the most to us? Thanks for joining us for The Explainer.